Hello YouTube, thank you for watching Tech Tutorials. In this video I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot and replace the power supply in an early 2009 24-inch iMac. So what I'm doing now, I'm just pushing the switch to see if the computer turned on, but as you can see the screen doesn't light up. So let me show you with the mouse. So the LED in the mouse should be on, but there is no power getting to the computer, to the iMac, so it's not, the LED is not on, it's not turning on. So what I'm gonna do, just gonna disconnect the mouse and I'm just gonna connect it to my laptop computer and see if the LED turned on. So I'll just plug it into one of the USB ports. Um, So as you can see, the LED is on, so there is nothing wrong with the mouse. So the mouse is working fine. So there is something wrong with the power supply. So the next step, I'm just gonna remove the glass cover. So just being very careful because you can break the glass. Also, there are two metal pins holding the LCD to the aluminum frame. So just make sure that you pull it up slowly and put it aside. So the next step, we need to remove the screws that are holding the aluminum frame. So as you can see, there are like 11 screws holding the aluminum frame. So we're gonna remove them, and what we are gonna use is a T9 screwdriver tip. So it's hard to see, but I'm gonna show you a picture how it looks like. As you can see, this is the T9 screwdriver tip. So this is what I'm gonna use to remove the 11 or 10 screws. Okay, just make sure that you don't mix the screws because there are 3 different sizes. So as you can see, there is very long. There is one screw that is very long. There is another one short, and another one in between. So just put it on top of a piece of paper and label them if you want. So just create like a pattern on top of on the side of the computer. Okay, so once you remove all the screws, we need to remove the aluminum frame. But first, we just need to pull it a little, just to unplug the microphone cable. So now we are ready to remove the aluminum frame. Also, don't forget to remove the cover that is basically covering the memory on the bottom of the computer. There is one screw that is holding the metal cover. There is a small rectangular shaped metal cover. So now what I'm gonna do, just gonna remove the screws that are holding the LCD to the plastic frame. Okay, now, so what we need to do is we need to remove the 2 screws that are holding the LCD cable that is attached to the motherboard. So let me show you better. Okay, so now you can see I'm just removing the second screw. so that way we can unplug the LVDS cable or LCD cable. So now let me pull the iMac. That way it's easier to disconnect the LCD cable from the power supply, and also I can disconnect there is a sensor on the bottom as well. Let me show you what is the LCD power supply cable. So just pull it up. Okay, so now as you can see, there is a small cable, so then we need to disconnect as well. So just pull it up as well, so it should be very easy to disconnect. So as you can see, there is a lot of dust on the fans and on top of the motherboard. So later on, we're gonna clean them. We're gonna vacuum all the dust because maybe this is one of the causes why the power supply fell. Because sometimes when there is a lot of dust, the power supply overheats. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna plug in the power cord and see if the LED lights come on the motherboard. So if there is power, so the LEDs of the on the motherboard should be light up. Let me show you which LEDs should be on. So as you can see, there are 4 LEDs. At least one should be on when the computer is in standby or in sleep mode. So, but it's not turning on. So that means that there is no power getting to the motherboard. So the power supply is damaged. So what I'm gonna do now is just check the voltage and see if there is current flowing or there should be some voltage if there is power getting to the power supply. So I'm just gonna ground or use my black cable, and I'm gonna attach to a ground screw and the red cable attached to the positive pin on the connector. But well, I don't see any voltage coming out of the power supply, so this power supply is dead, so I need to replace it. So what I'm gonna do next is since there is no power getting to the power supply, so I'm just gonna remove the power supply, but I'm gonna show you which screws to remove and which cable to unplug. That way you can see how I did it, because I forgot to record a video. But you can see in the picture there are 4 screws attaching the power supply. So this is the new power supply that I bought in eBay. So let me show you the website, or yeah, so I bought it in eBay. So let me go to the eBay website, and this is the power supply that I bought. So make sure that the power supply part number is identical or the same as your old power supply, and make sure that all the connections and cables and connectors are the same as your old power supply, because otherwise you can burn your other components or your motherboard. So as you can see, all the connectors are at the same at the right position on my old power supply. And this is, as you can see in the description, this is an early 2009 24-inch iMac or in early 2009 or 2008. So the output power is 250 watts. So make sure that you read all the descriptions. So as you can see, they recommend to please check all the pictures before you buy this item, because sometimes you can buy the wrong connector, or there is missing one of the connectors. So make sure that you take some time and make sure that all the components and connectors are in the right place as your old power supply. So let me open it just to show you how it looks like. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm just comparing my old power supply with the new one, just to make sure that I receive the correct power supply. So because sometimes they send a different part, so it happens to me, but I'm just making sure that this is the right power supply that I need to replace, or I need to exchange for the old one. So now what I'm doing, just disconnecting the this cable, and I'm attaching it to the new power supply. It should fit because they are the same number of pins, so it should be identical. So let me remove the old power supply. Okay. So as you can see, there is a lot of dust. So it can be one of the problems why the power supply fell. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna connect it. I don't gonna use the screws, the ground screws for now. I just want to make sure that the new power supply is working properly, and just connecting the cables. What I'm gonna do next, I'm just gonna connect the power cord and see if the LED lights come on or turn on. So if there is power getting to the computer, so the LEDs on the motherboard should be on. So let me see if there is power. So let me connect the power, plug in the power cord. Okay, let me move the camera. As you can see, one of the LEDs turned on. So this is a good news. So that means that there is power getting to the motherboard. So that's very good news. So what you can do now, you can turn it on and see if the fans turn on as well. So, but for me, I think this is a very good sign. What I'm gonna do next, I'm just gonna use the 4 screws and secure the new power supply into the plastic cover of my iMac. So you can see I use a piece of tape to hold, or just to keep the 4 screws That way I don't lose them. Okay, so what I'm doing as well, I'm cleaning the back side of the LCD because there is a lot of dust as well. Right now I'm just putting the LCD on top of the plastic cover. So next step is to plug in the power supply cable to the LCD. So just push it in. Okay. And make sure that you use the black tape originally was attached to the uh, LCD power supply LCD cable. So I'm just using the same screws that I removed before. They are attaching the LCD to the plastic frame. Same procedure. Let me speed up the process. Okay, so don't forget to plug in the LVDS cable or the LCD cable to the motherboard, and use the two screws that you removed before. Okay, so now I'm just gonna turn it on and see the LCD and the computer boot up. So let me connect the power cord. So I have the mouse and the keyboard attached to the iMac. So everything should be okay. So all the connections or all the cables are connected to the motherboard and the power supply. So the computer should be working fine now. So you can see there is an Apple logo. So the computer is rebooting. So okay, it's a very good sign. Taking some time to maybe just kind of speed up the process. So as you can see, the Mac OS is on the computer, so everything is working fine. The keyboard, because they didn't have it attached before. So the mouse, you can see now the LED in the mouse is on. So everything is working fine. So thank you for watching this video. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna clean all the dust on the LCD. So let me show you a trick how I do it. Maybe you have another option, but this is how I do it. So let me speed up the process, because what I'm doing now, I'm just putting the screws. I'm using tape, like clear tape, to pull all the dust on the LCD. So this is very helpful. Don't worry about the glue sticking to your LCD because it doesn't stick to the LCD. Just pull all the dust out of the LCD. It's very fast and it works very well. So as you can see, all the white spots, so it's just dust. So this is how I do it. So, and then you can use a liquid, special liquid to clean the LCD. So, or a fabric cloth as well. So, but this is how I do it. Before I use the fabric cloth, I use tape, clear tape to remove all the dust from the LCD. thank you for watching this video. We'll see you next time in another video from Ilotech Tutorials. Thank you.